What this subsection covers are accidents arising from vehicles exiting from a side road and are obscured or hidden in some way. I've divided this into two separate videos. This first one dealing with blocking visibility and the second one narrow vision. Each one will become more evident as you go through the separate videos. Let's have a look at this first animation to start off with. So here we have the driver of a green vehicle traveling down the main lane. We have a yellow vehicle exiting from the side road, and on the far side of the yellow vehicle is the red vehicle. So the driver of the red vehicle cannot see beyond the yellow vehicle as to whether there's any approaching traffic, and vice versa. The driver of the green vehicle won't be able to see beyond the yellow vehicle as to whether there are other vehicles that are wanting to enter into the main lane. So each driver is obscured from the other, and because of that, an incident arises because the driver of the red vehicle doesn't bother to check. One would think that common sense would dictate that if you cannot see any approaching vehicles, that one would rather hold back, be cautious until you can see clearly down the road. But that's not always the case. We can't assume that others will do the right thing or even the common sense thing, and so situations such as this could arise. Let's have a look at a real life clip showing exactly this. So here we have the main lane of vehicles. We've got this yellow vehicle on the far side of the vehicle adjacent to it. So the driver's view or visibility of these oncoming vehicles is blocked. And likewise, the presence of this vehicle may be blocked from these other drivers. Now, one would think that the driver would rather wait because he does see other vehicles now passing through the intersection. One would think that he would wait until he can see clearly before crossing. But let's have a look and see what happens. Just goes straight across without being able to see the oncoming vehicles. This is just another angle of the same scene. In the next animation, we'll have a look and see a very common scenario. So this is something that often happens, and this is one of the most prevalent areas where people get caught out. So what happens is that we've got a vehicle wanting to exit from the side road, this yellow vehicle traveling down the main lane, and out of visibility as yet is another vehicle, the green vehicle, traveling in the adjacent lane just behind the yellow vehicle. Let's run it for a section. There's the yellow vehicle approaching the corner. So the yellow vehicle is now slowing down in order to turn into the side road. But now what happens often coincidentally is that as this vehicle slows down, the other vehicle traveling at the rate that it is through the intersection remains in the blind spot. I'm just going to advance this frame by frame. So you'll notice that each one's visibility is obscured from the other. But the thing that really deceives people is that as the yellow vehicle progresses along, the green vehicle behind it is traveling at just the right speed to remain in that blind spot. So let's advance it. There we go, still out of view, out of view. Remains out of view for a while until it's eventually too late. So what happens is that a driver could be cautious. The driver of this red vehicle may have had a look, seen the yellow vehicle approaching, looked beyond the yellow vehicle on either side of the yellow vehicle, didn't see any traffic, and may have kept an eye on the yellow vehicle and for any approaching vehicles for a number of seconds, but it's just coincidental that the green vehicle remained in the blind spot of the yellow vehicle. Even though it was traveling for a number of seconds down the road, it remained out of view. And because of that, the driver may think, because he's checked for a number of seconds, doesn't see anything, sees the yellow vehicle now wanting to turn, thinks that the road is clear, progresses and gets caught out. So as I say, this is a very, very common scenario. So don't be caught by this. Be aware that even if you don't see anything, that there still may be a vehicle that's hidden in a blind spot. Real life clip to demonstrate this. Driver wanting to exit from the side road. So here's the vehicle slowing down. Now notice the vehicle behind it is just out of the line of sight of this vehicle, and vice versa. This driver won't be able to see beyond this intervening vehicle as to this vehicle wanting to exit from the side road, remains in that blind spot. This driver pulls out thinking it's clear, and there we have the collision. Very common scenario. This next one, we have a line of vehicles that are held up. Could be that there's a traffic light just out of view here, but for whatever reason, there's a line of vehicles. And so the green vehicle traveling down the far lane is obscured from the driver of the red vehicle wanting to exit from the side road. And once again, the same situation where each one is hidden from the other. This driver progresses thinking that it's clear, or doesn't bother to check properly, and so they collide as they get past the yellow vehicle. So if you're in a situation like this, for both drivers, whether you're exiting from the side road or you're traveling down the main lane, make sure that you're ultra cautious. Always slow down when you head towards an intersection. And where you see a situation like this, then try and be prepared for the fact that there may be a vehicle that suddenly appears from behind the last vehicle. Real life clip to show this. Line of traffic. You can see the camera cannot see beyond this line of traffic. We've got a vehicle that's exiting from the side road here, and the driver just forges ahead without any caution. So they make contact. This one's very similar to the previous clip, the only difference being that instead of a line of vehicles, we've got a larger, longer vehicle. So it could be a truck or a bus. And this obscures the visibility even more because unlike the separate vehicles, there's no break between the vehicles in order to possibly have a line of sight to any vehicles wanting to exit from the side road. So this is even more dangerous because you've got this whole big block that's obscured from each driver being able to see the other. Real life clip demonstrating this. So once again, where our visibility is blocked, we've got to drive with extra caution and always drive expecting that there is going to be a vehicle coming out. So don't think in terms of it's clear, you don't see anything, just forge ahead. Actually, in your mind, when you're a defensive driver, you're always trying to predict a scenario. So you sort of calculating for the worst case scenario. And if that is the case and you get yourself into that mode of thinking, you always have this sort of hunch that something is going to appear. And because of that, it makes you a more cautious driver. In the next one, not such a common scenario, but just to show you how things can arise. So what happens is that we've got the driver of the black vehicle wanting to exit from the side road, sees the green vehicle approaching, and so slows down or comes to a stop. The driver of the green vehicle is wanting to turn left into the side road. And as the driver of the black vehicle slows down, the driver of the red vehicle either is traveling too quickly and so tries to swerve out of the way of the vehicle ahead of it, and so swerves into this lane. Or it could be that the driver of this vehicle is impatient because this driver is slowing down, tries to bypass the driver, goes into the lane just adjacent to this driver, but gets caught as the green vehicle now turns into that side road. So just showing the situation, this vehicle slowing down, waiting for the camera to pass. The driver behind him either swerves out of the way or is impatient, tries to bypass him, goes onto the wrong side of the road, and now catches the camera as he comes around the corner. please like, subscribe, and get notified.